How many HSS providers have been directly banned from billing?
115.
Tonight, the scope of the fraud investigation into a taxpayer-funded housing program continues to grow. Investigative reporter AJ Legault sits down with the woman in charge of the Department of Human Services, as more than 100 businesses are now facing what the state calls credible allegations of fraud.
The Minnesota Department of Human Services, DHS, granted KARE 11 15 minutes to interview Shireen Gandhi, appointed in February to serve as temporary commissioner.
When did DHS leadership first learn that there were issues with potential fraud in this housing program?
My understanding is that back in the fall of 23, the program area started to receive some reports and passed that along to our DHS Office of Inspector General. And then later in the spring of 2024, started to hear more.
DHS has been an agency under fire, facing accusations they failed to act or act quickly enough to stop fraud in the housing stabilization program that KARE 11's investigation exposed was rife with forged records, fake meetings, and fly-by-night companies.
Suite 120, so it's right here.
While the vulnerable population it was supposed to serve was quite literally left out in the cold.
Did the department act urgently enough when it first started learning that there might be widespread fraud in this program?
That's a good question, and I think in hindsight, no. But we didn't have the benefit of hindsight then. If we knew then what we know now, we would have been acting a lot faster.
What has drawn sharp criticism from both sides of the political aisle is that red flags were not raised when program costs exploded far beyond projections, in 2024 topping $100 million.
So yes, when a program is increasing over what's forecasted, it is a red flag, and we do need to be looking closer into it.
The temporary commissioner told us one of the biggest changes she's instituted is immediately stopping payment when the department receives a credible allegation of fraud, instead of waiting months and even years for an investigation to be completed.
So it's a change in practice.
It sounds like it's a massive swing in practice.
Yes, 180 degrees.
We had far more questions than we could possibly get to before DHS staff told us our 15 minutes were up.
Looked at it.
Agents, we gotta wrap.
Well, tonight on KARE 11 News at 10, our investigation takes a deep dive into exactly what warnings DHS was given about the HSS program they're now seeking to totally shut down because they don't have the internal controls to stop fraud from happening. Rena?
AJ, where does the federal investigation into this stand?
Well, that's ongoing, but just today, sources tell me the grand jury was interviewing witnesses. So that really tells us that that investigation is in high gear.
All right, moving forward. All right, thank you, AJ. Looking forward to your story tonight.